Hey guys, welcome back to Puck and Stuff episode 4 with my boy T-Dog. Sponsored by, well, A Man Can Dream.
A man can dream.
Wow, what a crazy week in hockey this week, 80?
Well, Flames are finally playing games. They've won a few. They've lost a few as well, but they seem pretty confident right now, so I can't complain at all.
Well, I think we'll just jump right into Flames recap. And we versed the Columbus Blue Jackets and won... sorry, I don't even have the stats right now. So.
Well, here, I got it for you then. Yeah, so we played Columbus there, and we smoked them 6-0.
Beauty.
Very different from the other game that they played the next day versus St. Louis, where they lost 5-1. But we'll talk about the Flames game against Columbus first there.
Here we go. Got it.
Man, that was a dominating game.
That was a dominating game.
Jacob Markstrom with his 6th shutout of the year. So that was nice. I mean, he didn't get a lot of shots. I think he only had about 22 shots there. Actually, I have it right here. He had 23 shots there, and he got it.
Yep.
But Merch Lincoln's, my goodness, Columbus's goaltender, he had a lot of shots. This is what's crazy. Okay, think of it. He let in 6 goals. So 56 saves or 56. Yes, 56 saves out of 62 shots in total for Mitch Lincolns. He had a .903 save percentage, even though he let in 6 goals.
That's impressive.
That is crazy. We lit him up.
And the Flames set a new franchise record of shots on net during a game of 62. That's impressive.
I know.
We were really dominating that game. I really liked that.
That was offensive domination. And what I really enjoyed about watching that game was that, and this is why I think this team with Daryl Sutter has such a different bite to them, is because winning teams will do that, where even if they're smoking a team, they'll still play to the full 6. They will not let off the gas pedal, and we did not see them let off the gas pedal that entire time, and that was great to see. And we're seeing like this team just come together a bit more. The Tkachuk line just dominant as usual.
Yeah, that first line really was killing this game, with Tkachuk actually getting 2 goals this game, and yeah, just the 2 goals, and then Gaudreau was lining it up with the assists for him, and overall, a great play by the Flames in this game. Like, I didn't see really anything wrong. We dominated basically a full 60 minutes, and it was a really good game to watch.
Yeah, Columbus just never seemed to have kind of a bite to their game.
Oh, no.
They stuck in it for the first little bit, and then they just let off the gas, and they just kind of gave up. I mean, Merch Lincolns was the only one really putting in the effort for that one, and he gets rewarded with that save percentage. Poor dude, though, letting in 6 on that.
Again, there's not like a whole lot I have to say about this game. It was a dominating game. Nothing looked wrong offense, defensive, goaltending wise. It was a really dominating game for the Flames, and it was a great game to watch.
Well, another thing too is secondary scoring, right?
Oh yeah.
Which is key. So crucial for this team, right? And it seems like when the secondary scoring happens, it always seems to kind of turn out in a better result for them. But for Columbus, they're a weird team right now, because you look at them, their roster on paper, and I guess in a sense similar to how the Oilers may be looked at right now, they're not getting a lot of goal scoring from people you think that when they signed them, right?
Oh yeah. 100%.
Patrick Laine hasn't got a lot of goals. I don't even think Jakub Voracek even has over 5 goals this season.
Oh, I just looked at their stats.
Let's hear.
So we have Jenner at 30 points.
Okay. How many goals does Boone Jenner have? He's the captain, right? So
yeah, he has 18 goals and 12 assists.
He's always been a bit of an underrated player. I respect him.
He's -8.
Okay.
So, honestly, looking at this team all around, it shows that it has the depth and obviously the manpower to have that show potential. The goaltending is a little bit because I think they're in that situation where they don't have a fully good goaltender that they can count on. But this team, I look at them as, like you said, the Oilers in a sense of like young players, and it should be a really good team overall, but it just hasn't boomed yet, which kind of sucks.
I personally disagree with the kind of goaltender stance there, just because I honestly think Merch Lincolns and Korpisalo, when they're on their game, they're on their game. I mean, the fact that Merch Lincolns had 62 shots on him, right? The save percentage to me shows, right? He made some pretty crucial saves where it could have easily been a 12-0 game. But it just seems like their team just the back checking. Oh, goodness gracious. Like they just weren't.
Patrick
they
Laine
they
for
just
ya.
weren't. Fortnite man.
Fortnite, man.
But the team just doesn't seem to have as much grit when they're on the puck. They don't seem to want to win puck battles. They don't really seem to have that edge on it. Unlike, well, we're going to get into it, St. Louis's team.
Oh, boy.
They were really on the puck that entire game. But yeah, it was a crazy win. And that,
Should we jump over to the St. Louis game then?
I guess we can do that.
Because so St. Louis versus Calgary yesterday, and we sadly lost 1-5, 5-1, and it was not a pretty game. The Flames looked gassed, and we started Markstrom for a 6th game in a row, which I didn't fully agree with that decision by Sutter to start Markstrom again. I would have thought to give him a little bit of a break after that streak of wins that he was giving up for us, but yeah, I wasn't so sure starting Markstrom that game, even though he still had a decent game with 23 saves out of 28. It's not great, but
well,
still
that's
a really good
that's a very
goaltender.
Daryl Sutter move to do because he rides his goalies like nothing. He did that with Jonathan Quick back when he was coaching LA.
I guess he did it with Kiprusoff
But no,
as well.
you're
back
right.
In the day.
No, you're right though. Yeah, no, Calgary's just completely gassed. They're playing a lot of games, and that's what I'm worried about, right? It's like, to me, the big factor with the Flames is, like I said, I still think they make the playoffs, but man, in February and March, when they play a bunch of games and it's a lot of just day on, days off, day on kind of games settings, it's just gonna.
They're gonna get gassed and they're gonna be
that's what I'm
tired,
worried.
and that's the biggest worry.
Now, I think Calgary started the game not strong, but they were in the game with St. Louis. But St. Louis was this game compared to the last game. They were not giving Calgary any time. They weren't giving any open ice. Passes could not be connected or made. And like I was saying with the Columbus, how they were not facing on the puck. St. Louis is a different story. I just saw that St. Louis was always battling for that puck no matter what. And they seem to always, in this game, win the puck battles.
Yeah,
And would,
100%.
leave to a few goals. Backlund scored. Thank goodness Backlund's starting to, come back a little bit. He was easily the best player on this team. Like, he had 2 other chances, one on the breakaway, and then he hit the post in that one. So you almost could have had a hat trick. So does that change the result of the game? Maybe. But honestly, St. Louis was the better team at the end.
Yeah.
And like you said, just gas. So hopefully the rest before the Vancouver game here on Saturday will help them with it.
I was very disappointed with our D-core on that game because I've seen the chances that the defense gave up were brutal. Like, that third line now is really concerning to me because I think sorry, I'm blanking out right now.
You mean Goodbranson?
Goodbranson and
Zadorov?
Zadorov. Our third line is just that game really disappointed for me because they do really well on our penalty kill, but just overall that's really it.
Yeah, they have been very on and off this entire season. I never understood, to be honest, why they signed them.
I would have gone.
Goodbranson, though, has honestly to me been more impressive than Zadorov. Like, I see Goodbranson as a.
I think keep Goodbranson.
As a
I would get
healthy
rid
third.
of Zadorov for now.
It's just Zadorov makes a lot of very silly plays, and I saw one play that he made in the St. Louis game where he just kind of let the puck go and then didn't even chase after it, and it's like, well,
It's
that's
nice to
kind
know
of
have a
your
player like
job.
that on our team.
It's kind of your job to do that. I mean, there's so much Zadorov slander out there, so it's not whatever. I mean, he did score in the last game. But yeah, no, I think that it's just fatigue. It really seems to be what the big problem was with that game.
Yeah, it was also kind of showing on the other side of the puck as well for the offense that basically the first line and the second line didn't actually get a whole crazy amount of playing time. They were actually sending the third and fourth lines out a lot
that's
that game
probably
because it was showing that like we were exhausted from that game.
It was probably Sutter saying like, you guys aren't producing as what you should be, so we're gonna give the other guys a chance to kind of get some fire. And
Well, that didn't work.
well, no, I guess it didn't. But that was another note that I was gonna try and add as well, is the fact that we still outshot this team, not by much, only by
One shot.
by one shot, but
We still outshot them.
we still outshoot the team, and we still lose. I think that's kind of funny. I mean, it doesn't too matter. I mean, Ville Husso, though, he has been absolutely outstanding for St. Louis. He's taking Bennington's spot right now. That was a .966 save percentage for him that game. He makes some incredible saves. But he's been very consistent for them at St. Louis, man. It helps them a lot.
I'm actually curious now. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go quickly
look
and
at
look up theirs.
Husso's record right now. If I'm correct, he's like 4-0 the last 4. If I'm correct,
Yeah,
or 4 of his last starts,
4 of his last.
and it's been great. I
starts.
mean, this is the St. Louis team that I thought we were gonna see in Calgary a bit more.
Yeah, me too.
But this is like the St. Louis team. Like, okay, yeah,
this
could
is
tell,
the actual St. Louis.
I could
team.
tell once they got that goal to make it 2-1. I was like, yeah, this is the St. Louis team I expected.
Whose stats did you want exactly?
Oh, Billy Husso.
Oh, so Husso's stats, he has 9 wins and 2 losses and 1 OT loss. He has a goal against average of 1.81
No, that's impressive.
and a save percentage of 9.945 with 2 shutouts. He's doing way better than Bennington. Like, really good.
Yeah,
Good for
yeah.
him.
I don't know what's up with Bennington. It was weird too because I thought Bennington wasn't even like the problem in that game where the Flames smoked him at home.
Yeah.
It just seems like the team rather plays for Husso instead of Bennington, which kind of unfortunate there. I was also going to shout out as well Brandon Saad. He had 2 goals there and an assist for 3 points, so I would say he'd be probably the star of the game.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice to see that he's still a big point producer. That's the thing with St. Louis though. They've always been, even with their cup team, they got points from every guy on the ice there, and it's and it seems to always point out to wins. Craig Berube must have gave him a stern talking to though when they got smoked in Calgary there a few days ago because it was, like I said, a completely different team, and yeah, it's impressive for that. I hope that Calgary kind of keeps on this little streak here of consistent shots and stuff. I think the offensive pressure has always been there for each of these games, even with the 5-1 win. Like, I don't even think the Flames were even playing honestly that bad, even though they were fatigued up until kind of the end there.
Well,
Because you let in the 4th goal and then it's like, oh, it's you lose. You're not going to win that game, but they saw a little bit of pressure.
it wasn't a pretty game though. That's the one thing. It wasn't like it wasn't a terrible game by the Flames. Just it wasn't great
and
either.
it
I
wasn't
wouldn't say that.
It wasn't a lot of danger chance shots. So, and there was a few, some that Husso did have to make, but there wasn't as many as, you would want when you're down 1 goal or 2 goals. But yeah, so that's been something. But we got a game up there on Saturday night, hockey night in Canada, against the Vancouver Canucks. So what do you have for predictions there, good sir?
So are we at home this game? Do you know if we're at home?
I'm correct. We're at home. Let me just quickly check there.
Because
on my
I
device.
feel like that
Yes,
will make...
we are home.
We are home?
Yeah, we're home.
Personally, I could see the Flames kind of having a bounce back game against Vancouver, to be honest, because as you still look at Vancouver, I finally found some decent stats for once.
before we get into that, Vancouver's main scores are heating up. Besser's been getting some points. JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, which he was really quiet for that especially during when Travis Green was still the coach there. But it seems like after he got fired, he's definitely bounced back. I think Bujo just honestly plays him as how he should be played.
The coaching change really was needed.
It
for
really
that.
has helped. So Vancouver's definitely a different team. So this could be a different game than what we've seen previously.
But I still think Calgary comes out on top from the bounce back because after that game, I think we kind of needed that little rest going back home. And
Yeah, I
could
so.
see us bouncing back and winning this game.
I think so. I think it's going to be a gritty win. I don't think it's going to be, by all means, more than 3-goal win. I think it's probably going to go to an overtime. I can see this game being a 4-3 OT win.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of in the same boat. I could see a 4-3 because it showed that Vancouver's 19-19. They're at 500 right now, but they're still a competitive team, and Bouchard being back there helping out a little bit more now is very helpful for Vancouver because they got back in. Yeah. Did I say Bouchard?
You said Bouchard there.
Oh, Bouchard. Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still tired.
Yeah,
Long day.
I literally had I texted that's how you woke up, man. 4-hour nap. But
I just also found out that Vancouver has the worst penalty kill percentage in the whole league with 68.5 on a penalty kill.
Man, that's tough. So hey,
And Calgary
Make
has
them pay.
Calgary has the 5th best in the league with 83.
Yes, you gotta make them pay. Yeah, well, I guess that's another thing you could say with the St. Louis game. You know, the power play wasn't looking too that strong either. We seem to really win games, especially when the power play. I find it's with this. You get an early goal. It seems like we usually come on top.
We usually
If we go down a goal, but we come back pretty quick,
Yeah,
then we
we
get the
usually
next
do.
goal. It seems like a good win.
I feel like
As well-
if we score, so usually if we score first, it's a good game. But if they score first and we bounce back, unless we score that second goal, I feel like we don't win. And that's one thing I've always noticed that.
The 2-0 lead is like the worst lead in hockey. I do agree with that, but yeah, for sure, it seems like when you go down just over a goal, then the team loses a bit of momentum, which is something I guess you gotta really play, because adversity is an important factor, especially to come playoff time. So hopefully, you know, they can kind of fix that. As well as I was gonna say, when the power play is strong, the team seems to always come out on top as well with those games. So I think power plays. So if you're gonna cause some penalties or cause some power plays for you, then make Vancouver pay. That's gonna be one thing. Well, as well with Vancouver, I was gonna even say their goaltending has been phenomenal recently with, of course, Thatcher Demko, but the new guy, Spencer Martin, you know, he just got his first win. But he's played 3 games, I think, so far. You can search it up there, but he's been absolutely outstanding. He looks like he's been in the NHL for a few years already.
Is Demko like injured or something?
I think Halak is injured.
No, Halak is fine, I think.
Or is it?
I think it's Demko because I can't find any stats on him.
Oh, so maybe it is. I can't remember why specifically they got him, but I just been, you know, following it around and all that and thinking, well, I was going to ask you, do you think Spencer Martin starts this game?
I think Spencer Martin starts this game, and I don't think Markstrom gets to start this game. It would be risky to start Markstrom, I think, this game, but even though I wouldn't be completely mad, but I would like to see our backup get a little bit of time to play.
Yeah, Vladar does need some time. I really hope, because that's the thing. That's one thing I'm worried about Daryl Sutter. So one thing I'm worried is he going to overplay Markstrom until he gets injured, or he just completely burns out? Because it can happen to any goalie. It doesn't matter how good you are. And Jacob Markstrom's one of the top goalies out there. It does not matter.
I would say Markstrom has potential at least be like a top 6, 7 goaltender in the league right now of how he's been playing. And also, I just realized from the stats here, Calgary is at least top 10 in each stat in the NHL right now.
In the sense of what, like power play,
penalty kill,
points.
face off, goals, points, quite a bit. It's like either top 5 or top 10.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good and very shocking to see as a Flames fan, because usually we don't. And it's nice to see that Sutter's kind of strategy is working for the Flames, and it's a great thing. But overall, in the last 2 games, I'm not completely mad. I'm mad. I'm not mad. I'm just a little bit disappointed.
Just disappointed.
Yeah. So just like a good father would be. But I'm really excited for this Vancouver game, and I don't have much else to say about Flames recap. Tristan, I think you say your final words, and then we move on to our next topic.
Here. I'm just kind of looking around here. Yeah, I know it looks like Halak. I think he's the one who's been out, but Martin. So it'll be a tough game there. I think the Flames, I know they'll have the day rest. I think they'll come back strong. Vladar, I really hope does get the start, because I think Markstrom does need it off. And plus,
he's deserved it.
And it'll be 100%. And it's good. Vladar needs some confidence back after losing a few of those games there when we were on that little road stint when we first got back from COVID protocol. But I think the Flames are honestly going to be in good hands there. So good for the All-Star break.
Perfect.
Daryl Sutter was actually saying that he does want the team to be in a playoff spot, which you are right now before the All-Star break. So we have a week to do that.
And we're still 5 games behind schedule as well.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing that we're in a playoff spot and we're still 5 games behind.
I think there's more positives than the negatives.
Yeah,
really,
that's why I said
so
I'm not
far.
mad. I'm just a little bit disappointed. All right, Tristan, do you think we should jump to our next topic?
Yeah, so I mean...
The Oilers went interesting and signed Vander Kane for a year and 5 mil?
Okay, so I actually have it kind of broken down here. So the total hit, and this might be off a bit, but this is what I got there from the NHL stat. It was $2,108,609. $96,000 cap hit. So it's broken down into this. So for the remainder of the year, he gets paid the $750K as a salary. Now he in signing bonuses, and if you could actually go on cap friendly, see if you can find those signing bonuses. He gets paid $625K. And I guess there's a few other things to do with that, but that's like around the estimated value of how much he gets.
So his base salary right now is $750.
Yep.
And then his signing bonus is $625, which goes up to $2.1 mil for the year.
Yeah.
So give me your honest opinion on this signing, Tristan.
Okay, so I know there are going to be a lot of people who are like, well, just get him out of the league, right? All these problems. So, but here's the thing. So NHL does their investigation with all the stuff that's come out, and they haven't actually really found anything. That's what they came out with.
I think it was just the gambling thing, I believe, right?
So there's a few more things to that. I think the gambling was in the bankruptcy was the
first thing.
It was the first thing, and then the thing had to do with his ex-wife, and then there's some other problems with some COVID travel things when he got into Vancouver when he was playing for San Jose's for the Barracuda there when he was
Didn't
in the
he
AHL
lie
first
about
year.
his COVID vaccination card,
So,
I believe, as well?
Nothing has actually come out that being completely true. Now, the thing to know is that the NHL has came out and officially said that they did their investigation and everything is fine. It's nothing they're going to not punish him for anything else. So I don't know if anything really came out to actually be, illegal or if he actually broke his contract rules or whatever. But to me, this is how I see it. This is Evander Kane's last stint in the NHL. If he messes this up, and I don't mean by he doesn't score goals or points or whatever, but what I mean is if he does some stupid thing with the Oilers in the span of this year or the summer, then he's done. He's going to go to the KHL or wherever, most likely the KHL after. But I think this is legitimately a good pickup for Edmonton. And I'm being serious. Because think of this. You have, on your forwards, you have Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Zach Hyman, Warren Foegele. Now you add, for that top six, Evander Kane.
I don't think their forwards are the problem, though. If you look around the rest of the team,
not.
It's like, okay, you had a lot of other problems. Why would you, it's always nice to improve your offense, but, dude, there are some struggles on that defense and that goaltending that they know they have, and it's like, why?
Their goaltending to me is number one. However, I do think a problem is still there with secondary scoring. How many times do you see the Oilers win a game in overtime or something like that? Because it's usually because a goal is most likely scored or assisted by either Draisaitl or McDavid. So to me, if Evander Kane can go back into shape of what he usually is, he even gets an extra 15 goals this season. That's an extra 15 for them. This could be seriously kind of terrifying. If Evander Kane does work out, best case scenario, Evander Kane helps just tear it up and he's scoring a bunch of goals. And then boom.
He is.
It'll kind of limit that factor. Of course, having goaltender problems and defensive depth problems is going to always, screw you over in the long run. But Edmonton does need scoring. Or secondary scoring,
I can totally see where you're coming from. That secondary scoring for Edmonton did seem like it was needed. And looking at how Vander Kane played last year with San Jose, he played 56 games and got 50 points. So he's usually about a 40 to 50 point giver. And seems like it was pretty needed for
And they got
Edmonton.
him for $2 million.
That's pretty good. However, dude, out of everything you needed to improve, you went to wrong spot. And that's just personal opinion for me. But, yeah, not a terrible signing. I think they should have went somewhere else with that money, but oh well.
Well, I'm just trying to think, right? Where else is... Well, because there's a lot of teams inquiring about him. But can you imagine a team, I don't even know which teams even been acquired, but there's some teams that if they got him too, that's even more terrifying. It's just that Edmonton, everyone's just laughing at it just because of the whole scenario, but this is because of how Oilers are doing. If the Oilers were doing really good and then they picked him up, everyone would most likely be like, oh no, they're actually going to be playoff favorites.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest, I think, there's still speculation. And there's still a good possibility. I don't know if it's going to actually happen, but Marc-Andre Fleury may want to go on the market and actually, finish his career off because he doesn't want to be with a rebuilding team. And I think the Chicago fan base knows that there's going to be, and the Chicago team in general knows that it's going to be an actual I guess it's a retool at this point, but it's
Oh,
almost
I don't know
rebuild.
if it's a rebuild in Chicago. There was like
I think
2
Canes-
years ago they were supposed to be saying, "Oh, we're in a rebuild phase," and then they go out and sign like all these players.
Yeah,
and you're
Bowman
like, huh?
really kind of messed up, and I think that's because they got a little bit antsy with the bubble. The bubble. I think the
Yeah.
bubble kind of just like Vancouver. You know, they overachieved and they got antsy, and it kind of screwed them over for a little bit. Now, so what I think what's going to happen personally with Chicago is Kane will most likely leave somewhere. Taves, I even heard this. I could be wrong, but I actually even heard around the grapevine back in like a few months ago that Taves might even like consider retirement if
I can see
after
that.
he's done with Chicago. It might just be Chicago for him or nothing.
can
I don't
see
think
that.
these players want to be in a rebuild or even like a heavy retool because even players like Alex DeBrincat, I don't think he'd want to be either. You know, I think you could ship him off for some good pieces. But then, like you said, you know, you go and get Seth Jones and you get Caleb Jones.
And then you get Fleury, and
yeah, you
you're
get
just
Fleury,
kind of
so
you
it's-
kind of ruined a rebuild.
So
for,
it's really weird what they're trying to do. But honestly, I think they need to retool because this team is gonna go nowhere. I mean, you know, they play hard. Like they just playing the Avs there, and they played them hard and lost 6-4. You know,
curious
one
what
goal
the
was the empty
record
netter.
is.
But Chicago, I mean, they need a retool. So heck, maybe Fleury becomes a possibility. If Fleury goes to Edmonton, I mean, does the goaltending woes completely vanish? No, like of course
But
not.
do they improve? Yes.
They heavily improve, like scarily improve.
Oof. I just looked at Chicago's standings in the Central,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like almost dead last. They're 7th behind Arizona back there. They had 39 points. Wow. Really? They played 44 games, 6 team wins, 21 losses, 7 OT losses for 39 points. And the Central kind of looks a little bit weird but normal because Nashville is 2nd.
Yeah,
Nashville weirdly picked it up.
they're a sleeper team for sure this year. Well,
Dark horse.
think of it, Matt Duchene Revenge Tour. He's got 21 goals on the season.
Good for him.
I'm so glad though, because I'm a bit of a Duchene fan, so it's nice seeing that he's
He kind of had
picking
a
it back
rocky.
up.
He's kind of had the rocky career because he started in Colorado, right? And
Yeah.
he was kind of mad at Colorado when they were kind of doing crap. He went over to Nashville when they were basically coming off of NHL finals, hoping to bounce back there, and then Colorado became good again, and then we kind of
that's
made
what
memes
happens when
about
you
him
kick
and
out
stuff.
the Patrick Waugh era.
Yeah, literally.
There was a whole thing with that. Yeah, but Edmonton, man, I think the goaltending tandem for sure. How was Fleury's stats? I know they're not that great this season. However,
I can check quickly. 1 second.
it's. I mean, he doesn't want to have a team to play with. I don't know, man. You got a team. I mean, Seth Jones is so overpaid. Like, I've always, tried to defend him. I really think he is a good. He's good on the puck and he's really good in his end. But this season's not proven that for me, man. The amount of times he's coughed that puck up and caused turnover goals, it's just crazy.
Fleury has 14 wins and 14 losses with 2.88 goals against and 909 save percentage. So he's not doing bad.
It's a decent save percentage.
It's just, I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's just also because of the team.
100%.
that he
But I
has.
think you put him a team like Edmonton. I think there's going to be upgrades because the goaltending is before the defense.
No,
in
yeah.
my opinion. I think I don't know, but I honestly think the Oilers specifically. I think what they miss as well is they miss Adam Larson. I think he was a very quiet defensive defenseman.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's Seattle's not doing too great anyways, but it's not like that was the goal of Seattle this year anyways.
Well, the Flames also had to give up Mark Giordano, which was actually a decent loss for us, but however, it did give up a lot of cap space.
There's been games though where you can tell we miss a player like Giordano on the blue line, to be honest.
True.
One more defenseman would be nice, but of course the saturation on the market. I think Chychrun has been talked about. Of course, JT Miller and Jacob Chychrun have been the two. Excuse you there.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good. But though JT Miller and Jacob Chychrun have been the two that have been bounced around for fun. I guess Claude Giroux as well. I think he's been thinking more towards Colorado Minnesota.
We're about another month away from trade deadline, so I guess we'll just have to really see what happens. To be honest, to see if the Flames or Oilers records continue to go up or down, and they'll kind of decide this a lot through trade deadline. But yeah, again, back to the Vander Kane thing. I didn't see it as a bad signing. I don't think it's a great signing for Edmonton either, but all around, yeah, it never hurts to have another secondary scorer that could put up points for you, right?
Do you think, in your honest opinion, do you think Kane gives the Oilers a bit of energy to the team where, like, it'll actually have, like, you know, we probably won't see it in the first bit, but do you think, like, it'll drive the team for more success?
Yes,
for the rest of the
I think
season?
it could either go. I think it could go either way with Vander Kane. It's either going to be a very positive, like, to the room that it kind of maybe needs, or it could go like absolute shit, like doesn't help at all with the team, very negative. Like, I could see it either going either way, but you never know with a player sometimes. It could be the player environment, it could be just the team itself. Like, there's so many factors to it, so
100%.
maybe we'll just have to see him in his first few games, see how he does, and if he really gets news drama a lot there quickly, yeah, they'll tell you.
Yeah,
right
well,
there.
I think it'll be in his best interest not to do anything too crazy, right?
Oh,
Because I don't think he
100%.
wants his name there anymore.
I don't think so either. I think he would stay. I think you should stay low for a bit, just play the games and get up some points, and maybe that's how they'll talk about him. But yeah,
Fix your
I think it's just all it's just all on him right now. That's all it is.
I was watching the interview with him, Ken Holland, and Dave Tippett. For you people who don't know, Dave Tippett's the head coach of the Oilers, and Ken Holland's the general manager of the Oilers. And there was a lot of the media was talking about, of course, like his all the stuff that was going on, and he was saying one thing about locker room problems, and I can't remember how the question was worded specifically, but one thing that caught my eye was Vander Kane responded with saying, well, the fact that there was problems in the locker room, however, but the fact that there were people telling the media that there were problems kind of says something about the other players. So I kind of agree with that too, right? I don't think it was always, I bet you it wasn't always Vander Kane with problems. It seems like trouble kind of goes wherever he goes. But that's true, though. I mean, like, stuff like that with, we've been on sport teams. You know how that is, right? Like, you keep that beef with the team and you solve it.
Pretty much.
You make it a whole big drama, right? So, all the news reporters can have a heyday with it and make all their money and all their 2 seconds of fame because they wrote an article on it.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely a lot more towards it. But I honestly think Kane will be... I think he'll help the Oilers.
He
How
should be
much?
fine.
Man, it's you don't know. I mean, just with this thing, it seems like with this organization, it just, you never know.
It's a coin toss.
Literally, it's a Buffalo Bills.
It's a Buffalo Bills coin toss.
Yeah, they're win or
for sure.
lose, literally.
Hey Tristan, I would love if I could just switch topics pretty quick from moving away
sure.
from Evander Kane and Chicago. I would actually like to talk about an Airdrie boy of ours, Aaron Dell, is suspended for 3 games on a hit on a Senators player that he took. Basically, one of the defensemen was coming around the net with the puck, and he kind of went outside his net and just cranked him.
Yeah, he cranked.
And he got suspended for 3 games. So that kind of just leads to the question also of, when a goaltender leaves his net, is he playable?
Yeah.
Should the NHL switch to that rule like how lacrosse is? If the goalie leaves his net, he is open to get hit.
So before I answer your question there, so what's unfortunate about this whole thing is, of course, that caused a Batherson injury, and Batherson was going to go to the All-Star game, of course, but unfortunately he won't be able to now because of his injury. Now, my question is, where was his team to help defend him? We see this a lot. We see this a lot with a lot of the teams now. Ones that don't have that kind of leadership or even great with that team is they just.
Are you sure I don't think Brady Tkachuk was on the.
That's bullshit, but I feel like
they do have him.
I feel like they
don't
should
know.
have did something there. I know, like there's this unspoken rule that you don't touch a goalie. But to answer your question, man, when you do something like that, you go to your net and specifically like push him. You deserve to get.
Oh, he
you
like
deserve
full
to get a
on
bit of-
bodied him.
You,
It was
you,
a-
yeah. You deserve to get a bit.
If
of,
any
a bit
NHL,
of the,
if a player did that, it would have been a clean hit. It's just because it was a goalie and it was obvious interference.
Yeah, he does this a lot though. He
I
likes
guess
to get under the skin, which I love seeing players that get other players under their skin. It's just because it makes the game much more entertaining. But man, that was kind of dirty. I'll be honest. I mean, there was no like intent that he was gonna skate, into the goal. He was literally just trying to get past him, and then yeah, unfortunately ends in an injury. I think honestly, a play like that, yeah, you should be able to just be like, yo, man, you deserve a bit of gold slap shot there. Well, not like that, but Aaron Dell did deserve to get rocked, man. I mean, that was not called for. It's kind of like a wrong Hextall move. I mean, it's not anywhere where you're slashing the dude's shin pads.
It's not like a Jordan Pennington moment when he just like starts slashing.
Pennington doesn't even do anything. He just like tries tough body up to some dude, but he doesn't actually even punch. Which I mean,
sometimes
but
sometimes he's punched, sometimes he's slashed,
true.
sometimes he can do that, sometimes. But yeah, overall, like it really leads to the question of like, should a goalie be allowed to get hit if he leaves the crease? And he wears just as much equipment as a hockey player does, so it could be questioned. But again, I do see them not doing that because it's like, hey, it's a goalie. It's not meant for it. It's supposed to be taking saves and stuff.
It just sucks because
But they go out and play the
injured.
puck at the same time.
Yeah, it just sucks because Batherson gets injured from a play that didn't even need to happen. And then of course it just, ruins his all-star game, and it's just a whole big shenanigan. But I'm telling you, if he does this again, because people are gonna watch that, right? And if players did it again, he's gonna get his thing rocked. Yeah, so it's gonna be
That's for sure.
something like that there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy. It's funny. I was talking about Slapshot. I was watching it last night.
Oh, really?
It's fun. I know it's a movie, but you really think about how different the game has evolved, man.
Yeah, because it was always about big hits and
crazy.
hitting, and now the talent and speed obviously has went up to a
Well,
level.
I almost think the hits get even more. I mean, even with the more equipment, but I think the hits even get even more dangerous because of the speed factor.
Yeah. But
You
that's
see
why
some-
that's why a lot of people don't go for the hitting. And
Yeah,
that's why
that's
it's
for
always
sure.
questioned, because it's like, oh, with the increase of speed and like obviously not always going for a hit, it's way more deadly now to get hit cranked in the game than it would before.
Yeah, well, you always got to keep physicality in the game. That's just
You
how
have
it's gonna
to.
be. I like as a fan, I enjoy the physicality, but it's just
Don't ever take
when
out
it comes to physicality in sports, it's hard to completely regulate and get dirty hits and all that stuff out of the game. It's always gonna be there. But of course, when something like that happens, that's when having someone like an enforcer. An enforcer would be really nice, because then you do that, oh man, then
Damn,
it's
that
just
sounds
gonna
like a
be
new
out
car.
there. Just
Enforcer.
getting snatched, man. Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't really have much else to say with it. It just sucks because poor Batherson, and yeah, Dell deserves the suspension. So I think people or other teams will be looking out for that when they play them.
Yeah,
when they
alright.
play him again.
Well, that was a good kind of little rant from Tristan for sure. Tristan, do you want to move on to the next little topic we have?
So the Vancouver Canucks, speaking of them, they have hired, finally, a GM. Well, they also hired an assistant GM, but you can...
The first woman assistant GM
Yeah,
in Vancouver
first-
history?
First female assistant GM. I think that's actually in NHL history, if I'm correct. So
I
that's
don't know
pretty
if
cool.
it actually is, because I just said Vancouver history,
Oh, did it?
and I'm like,
Okay.
wait, does that mean there's already one in the NHL? So
That's a good little trivia quiz if she is not. We can get the names here. I should have prepared for this one. I don't know why I haven't.
yeah, we're sorry, boys. Sometimes
We're
we just
really tired today. We
we're
tell, man.
exhausted. It was a rough week of life. Yeah, loving it.
Canucks. Okay, so the Canucks general manager. Here we go.
Patrick Elvin.
I was just Patrick Alvin. It's funny because Wikipedia shows up for me. It says Jim Rutherford's.
What
But
was the name
Rutherford's
of the
hockey ops.
assistant manager that they had just hired?
I'm going to find that right now. But we can quickly talk about here. Yeah, actually, if you want to quickly find that there.
Actually,
So I got the news thing up here. So yeah, Patrick Elvin. If I'm correct, he is just like the Canadians' new GM hire, Ken Hughes, where he was also a player agent. So Elvin, so this is from the NHL. This was written by Amelie Benjamin. on the 27th there, and it says Alvin, who was Pittsburgh Penguins. He was the assistant GM. He worked for the past 16 seasons with the Penguins. So he's got a bit.
Oh
of,
wow, he has.
So he's got a
this
bit
might
of
be
a
really
resume.
good for Vancouver.
See, we should have done the research. This would have been good area to talk about. But hey, he's got a bit of a resume. He's got the 2 Stanley Cups. All right.
Yep.
So
He knows what it takes to win. That's for
yeah.
sure.
On 16 seasons. Sorry. 2, of course. 3. So he's been to the finals 4 times. 08, 09, 16, 17.
Oh
right?
my
1,
God.
3.
Okay, so
he is the first Sweden-born general manager in NHL history taking over a team that has big decisions to make. Yes, they're making a lot of history differences. So of course he would have a little bit of acquaintance, a little bit of knowledge with Jim Rutherford there, so they have a bit of a relationship. That seems like a decent hire there. I mean, I think it's nice that Vancouver doesn't go off the boys' club, and I don't think they want to make that mistake again. I mean, this is the bit of Penguins boys' club. Of course, Rutherford knows them, but he probably sees some good with him, so that's probably why he brought him in, because he saw what he can do. With, he could help out with Pittsburgh, and of course, you look at Pittsburgh. Think of their development for heck's sake, right?
Oh yeah.
Their development's been phenomenal for the past decade. And of course, with their team and how well they've been structured, they've came out with 3 Stanley Cups in the span of less than 10 years there.
Oh yeah. Actually, I think Vancouver is taking a lot of right steps into the right direction with this move and the new hirings. Like it does, like you said, it's not a boys' club anymore. They're actually trying. And
well, it's the Pittsburgh boys' club now.
Well, technically, yes, it is.
You think Crosby comes?
He says he screws off from Pittsburgh and goes to Vancouver. Ugh. Yeah, but they actually do have a GM, has the experience, and knows what it takes to actually win those cups.
Crosby
right?
does have success in Vancouver, if you think about it. 2010?
2010.
Anyways, you were saying?
No. Anyways, Tristan's got me laughing over here. Oh, God. No, but I 100% believe that Vancouver is going in the right direction with this hiring of GM, because obviously you already look at their head coaching change and look how much that has just made them better, obviously, right? Even though they're still 500, they've obviously took it into the right step with that coaching change, and I also think this will be the same way with the GM change. So a lot of if you're a Vancouver fan, like one of our buddies, Jason, you're looking in the right steps, that's for sure. I would be very interested in your off season, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think this is nice because hopefully this is going to be like competent management now.
Oh yeah.
So they don't go out and lose. I mean, they have re-signed Besser and Pedersen, but hopefully don't go out and lose more than just JT Miller for say if that happens.
I think
because I think JT Miller most likely is going to be out.
Yeah, I think he might get traded by trade deadline by that.
He's going to be he'll be a great asset for a playoff team. I'm telling you. But
we're hoping.
He's got that.
As a Flames fan, you're kind of hoping a little bit.
Well, he's got that scoring touch. I mean, I got his points right here. JT Miller has 44 points in 41 games, 15 goals, 29 assists. So he's got a bit of a playmaking ability too. Not bad at all.
That is not bad at all.
Yeah, so it's going to be good for. Seems like the Western Canadian teams seem to be having seem to be kind of getting a bit of positive change right now. It's very up in the air, of course.
Yeah.
Winnipeg's been kind of weird. Actually, I would like to even go on that thing right now.
Talking about Canadian teams?
Yeah, well, Winnipeg's they've lost a bunch of their recent games so far, and it's where Mark Scheifele's been kind of irrelevant this season, and he's always my pick for one of those underrated players. Like I love Mark Scheifele, I love his game, and it hasn't really been showing that much.
This is like what I've always noticed over the years with the 7 Canadian teams. There's usually about 2 or 3 Canadian teams that like are good enough to make playoffs. So you have Toronto up there this year. You can have Calgary up there. Hell, you could really even say, you could maybe say a third option would be Winnipeg or Edmonton in that sort, because they're kind of having a weird down year for some reason. Mm-hmm. And then there's those like 2 to 3 teams that absolute kind of dog, aka Ottawa and Montreal this year, because they're having some ugly. Well, they're having an ugly
I expected
year.
Ottawa. I expected Montreal too. I mean, heck, you literally lose your captain, top defense. You lose Carey Price, and of course you lose Cox in the end. I mean, you really didn't get anything in return.
Yep.
But with Winnipeg, though, they've lost their last 6.
I didn't know that.
2 of them have been overtime losses, but it hasn't
tough.
really been the prettiest sight. Lower scoring games, Which is weird too, right? Because Hellebuck, he's also he is usually a consistent goaltender. He's easily one of the best. I don't even know where I'd put him for top wherever. He's easily top 5, I think. But
I would say he's like top 5.
this season, Kyle Connor has 42 points in 40 games. He's got
Kyle
23
Connor
goals, but
stepping
Kyle
up,
Connor
though.
is a goal scorer. I mean, my goodness. But I guess it might be a similar thing. I can't speak too much on Winnipeg on this, but I really think. Well, I guess that as well. I kind of forgot about this. Their blue lines have been a bit whatever off the.
Winnipeg's?
Yeah.
They've always been off since Dustin Byfuglien left. Their defensive problems have been a very big concern. For a
but
while.
there's a lot on the IR right now. So now with the team's blue line is without Josh Morrissey, Dylan DeMello, and Logan Stanley and Nathan Beaulieu. So that's literally all of their defense core. So that could play a big factor, of course, right? And Winnipeg's always been a team that they can out-defend you some games, and I think they've had a little bit of success. They've always been that kind of team where it's like, oh, don't sleep on them. And I don't think I've ever slept on the Jets, but you have a bit of the injury bug, and it doesn't help with, of course, losing a few games to have to reschedule them because of COVID. Kind of just takes you off the balance, and I think Winnipeg needs. So hopefully they bounce back pretty quick and get some of their injuries off. Morrissey's in 19 protocol. DeMello's an upper body, so I don't know how long that will be. But yeah, losing Logan Stanley and Beaulieu there and Morrissey, that is tough. That is tough. That is literally your top 4 gone.
Also, looking at Connor Hellebuck's stats here, he's played 34 games, and he's won 14 and lost 14. And his goals against average is 2.93, and his save percentage is .909. So it's not bad.
It's just not Hellebuck numbers.
It's just not normal Hellebuck numbers, which is kind of odd. Yeah, that's for sure.
Probably the lack of defense right now is probably a big problem.
Yeah, but a lot of always with the Canadian teams, there's at least 2 or 3 Canadian teams are doing really well and have the playoff potential for sure to be contenders and everything. But then there's obviously those 2 middle teams that are all right, and then the last 2 are just dog.
So we have I have the stats here for the Jets. Their top 3 goal scorers. So Nikolai Ehlers is the third with 13 goals. Pierre-Luc Dubois has 18. So you know what? He's been kind of showing off a little bit. Nothing
Actually, Scheifele
too
is
crazy.
the one that's been kind of quiet.
Kyle Connor 23. Scheifele with 18, Wheeler with 18 assists, Kyle Connor with 19. So yeah, how it goes for top points is Kyle Connor is just overcoming all of them with 42. Dubois next with 31. Dubois had a really good start to the season, quieting a little bit, but he's got 31, 40. That's around. You know what? He's.
It's not bad. Not great.
They're getting their worth for getting him.
Oh yeah.
When they got him with the Lion A trade, honestly, I think that wasn't actually that big of a loss for Winnipeg. I think Dubois is honestly a good player.
I would call it like a pretty even trade.
So
with how Laine has been producing lately, and obviously how Dubois is playing with the Jets right now, I would call that a pretty even trade.
Well, so the thing with like Mark Scheifele here, right? So we see that he's got 20. He's a -10 right now, but he's got 28 points in 34 games. But so we look at the last seasons and all that. So we have like the 21 season, the 56 games, he had about 42, 44, and 71. So he's 63 in 2021, 73, 84, and the last 2 out after that. So it's definitely looking like he's not gonna have a career year, that's for sure.
No, yeah.
But usually he's a 60+ point player, so maybe he sparks it up. But yeah, I think Winnipeg really probably just needs other players to step up, and I think they just need to get that defense healthy again.
Oh yeah.
It's unfortunate, right? Because I remember start of the season, Elliot Friedman there on Hockey Night in Canada was saying, "Don't sleep on the Jets; they'll be the best Canadian team in the league."
Well, that didn't happen.
And well, I bet you if it wasn't for injuries and all that stuff and this COVID stuff, I bet you Winnipeg would be in a different position, to be honest.
Possibly. I guess we'll have to see. There's a lot of hockey still play.
Personally, never thought they'd ever be like the best Canadian team, but Yeah, I feel like they should be better than where they are, to be honest.
Oh,
And
yeah.
in the standings here, how are they?
They're
doing?
6th in the Central.
They're 6th in the Central.
They're about 5 points away from Dallas, and Dallas has, well, Winnipeg has a game in hand.
And they're
but-
5 out of the wild card spot.
Yeah.
And they got a game up in hand on because the Flames are last in it right now, but we have 39 games. They have 40.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're just above 500 technically. I mean, I always put OT losses. So if you put the OT losses in, then
We're,
of course you're way over.
we're almost at an hour, basically.
Are we almost at an hour?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Winnipeg. Hopefully they can get their defensive core there
Fixed,
a little
oh,
bit
yeah.
better, because man, that's a tough loss. I mean, they should nowhere near be close to Chicago or Seattle
No.
in
they
this
shouldn't
sense.
be.
I mean, not point wise, yeah, they shouldn't be close to Chicago, but I mean, in like the standing wise, they should not be next to Chicago and Seattle.
No, I don't believe that.
No.
Well, Tristan, I think we should start wrapping this up. What do you think?
Perfect. Well,
All right. Well, boys, thank you for listening to T-Dog and I basically talk for the last hour about hockey, and it's much appreciated. We see your support, and we love it all the way. If you guys just keep liking, subscribing, and sharing, and getting us out there, we'd be much appreciated, and we love the support. Thank you guys. Tristan, I'll let you take us away.
perfect. Well, yeah, as like Brendan said there, thanks so much, guys, for all the support. And so next podcast, we'll most likely just be talking about the Flames, recap of the Vancouver game, as well as we got some football to watch. AFC, NFC final.
I love
I'm
it.
so excited for that.
So excited.
Cannot wait. But hey, there's a lot in store, so why not always listen to the fun there. If you guys have anything else that you want us to talk about, just leave it down in the comments, and we'll be sure to see if we can add it in there. And hey, enjoy the rest of January. All right, guys, take care.
Take care.
Peace out.